chat filter, all messages, YouTube. Please lock in a little bit. I think my mic can hear me breathing. That's a little excessive. Breakfast at 4 p.m. I woke up late. Last night I wanted to go to bed earlier, but I was playing Monster Hunter Wilds with Doodle. We stayed up a little bit later than intended. You must be a professional gamer or something. Speaking of that, I need to figure out how to be a either really commit to being a professional gamer and content creator, or I gotta branch out into other content. I gotta figure something out. Because I think that gaming, I like it a lot, but I think I don't like gamers that much, man. I feel like gamers are holding back games, and I can't help but comment on it. And in doing so, it's always negative. It's always complaining. Oh well. Like the new warbond in freaking Helldivers 2, for instance. That is not that good. But hey, you can't disagree with it, guys. Gotta love it. All right, new strat. Actually, wait, no. New strat is gonna be me trying to put this stand thing on the counter. Gamers are ruining gaming. I've legit almost made that a thumbnail before, like a whole video. It might be on my desktop. I think I have that saved on my desktop somewhere. This is gonna go in the sink, I guess. This will go on the counter, sink. I'll clean the dishes later. They're cleanish. What about workout content? I can't stream my workout. I can't record it either, I don't think. And fitness content is it's a tough market. Very tough market. When it comes to anything content related, and honestly, most things in life, it's all about being consistent to the point of excessiveness almost. Like you have to be extraordinarily consistent to see what you want to see results wise in most things. So that's why it's kind of difficult for people, including myself, to stop doing what we've been doing and branch off into other avenues, especially after you commit so much time. Need this for the stuff. All right, I gotta think about what takes longer to cook. I think the vegetables, so I'm gonna do the vegetables first. Why is the bottom of this pan wet? Hello? I could put this back here, couldn't I? It's sideways, whatever. I do need to get a better tripod. I'll work on that probably. Too much water. All right. When you're trying to steam vegetables, especially frozen ones, you don't need much water. It's not necessary. Because I kind of like it whenever I steam them and there's almost no water left when they're done. Now, if you do too little water, you might burn your veggies. Be careful. House tour. I think if I give you a house tour, it might lower the value of the house. There could be some cracks in places that there shouldn't be cracks. Not my fault, though. That's why I gotta pop up on content, because eventually my brother's got to do some settlement work on this house, and that's not cheap. And I want to help. I guess I'll go ahead and turn this on. I ain't gonna measure my vegetables. I could though. Wish you a happy birthday. You're off by a long, long time. But thank you, I guess. Oh my God. I don't know what it is, man. I look forward to this breakfast every single day. $10,000 PC setup tour. My PC was, I think, $6,000, but a lot of that expense was because of the overpriced graphics cards, and also at the time SSDs were more expensive, I'm pretty sure. That was back when a 2080 Ti was, I think, how much did it cost? It was more than $1,200 at the time. probably even close to maybe 1600, I think. It was expensive for just the 2080 Ti. This was during the whole Bitcoin mining or crypto mining craze. We're discussing the warbond yet? Listen, when it comes to the warbond, I think I'm sick of the whole it's not worthless or it's not that bad. We can just call a spade a spade. There's no point in trying to say and trying to justify why things aren't good in the game anymore. At this point, we should have higher standards. The gamers, Helldivers, don't have good standards. With bad standards, how can you ever expect quality? Especially if you keep lowering them. Like the new phrases, oh my goodness. I think that we're going back to the dark ages. We are going back to the dark ages of Helldivers 2, where we're going to need a freaking 60-day plan to fix the game. Because people want to say weapons are challenge now. They're challenge weapons, they're ceremonial. Like those are some goofy phrases made by goofy people to justify goofy weapons. Oh, yo. That's all I hear. Streaming when I'm on break and have to return to work. Cheers, mate. Yo, Kane, have a good day at work, dog. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you. And the other thing too is after Liberty Day, how many folks have you seen use Constitution or the new armor? The Liberty Day armor. Maybe a handful. In my case, I didn't see a single person use any of that stuff. And that's what we keep getting, is things that people don't use. At this point, players spend longer defending items in the video game than they do using it. That's my whole problem that I have with the Helldivers 2 currently, is they keep dropping weapons and items that people will not use for any prolonged period of time, which is an issue. What's the point in adding new content that people aren't content with? It's goofy behavior that players are, at this point in time, saying is okay. I don't get why gamers are turning into the unpaid PR team for these multi-million-dollar companies. Arrowheads, they got money now, bro. They got dinero. They got money. It's strange. Speaking of games, though, Monster Hunter Wilds is freaking amazing. Oh my goodness. Monster Hunter Wilds, I had so much fun playing last night, and I was tired too. The bow is freaking amazing. If you play Monster Hunter Worlds, I think that Wilds is 10 times more fun. There's no clutch claw shenanigans. None of that having to freaking tenderize the go ahead and clutch claw and tenderize the wounded leg or something. Make it wounded. No. You shoot a part and then that creates the wound itself. And then there's so many other ways you can interact with that attacking to create wound mechanic. It's so sick. If you haven't played a hunting game, I recommend trying the demo if you're on PC. And if you, like we got Dauntless content coming out in December. That game might not be crazy or nothing, but I'm looking forward to it. Monster Hunter Wilds, that is probably going to be game of the year. I think. It'll be my game of the year, which is all that matters. Individually. Like not that my thought's more important than anyone else's, but to me it is in this case. Okay, I'm going to not start that just yet. I want to start my potatoes. How's the PC sponsor search? So I got hit up by a company called Apex Gaming PCs. And I think they respond and say, and like figure out what they have to offer. Because I really want to go with one company, which is Starforge, correction. I really want to go with Starforge Gaming. But beggars can't be choosers. Not that I'm necessarily begging, but actually I kind of am. So there is potential there. Is that steamed Normandy vegetables with paprika? That's I season my vegetables with spice. Red pepper. It's not very spicy, but it adds a little bit. If you add a lot of this, it gets pretty spicy. And it's Normandy vegetables, which is going to be broccoli. It's broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower. I don't particularly love the idea of cauliflower in there, but it doesn't taste bad. And then I also do broccoli as well. Because broccoli has more protein, even though I don't believe that protein from plants is a complete protein, but who cares? It ain't that big a deal. I just like broccoli a lot. I like carrots. Yeah. And these vegetables are pretty calorically, they're not calorically dense. So 25 calories is almost a cup. That's a lot of freaking vegetables. Like 400 grams of broccoli and the Normandy blend is roughly 100 something calories, maybe 120. It's a ton of freaking food. It's a whole giant bowl. Anyway, I'm gonna make the potatoes. Well, the thing with the heat, people say that you add heat to food if you're trying to lose weight, because if it's really hot and spicy, it makes you eat slower. And that means that you will get fuller quicker or something like that. Because if you scarf down food, you can eat more. Okay, this is going to be like 100 and something grams. This potato is going to weigh 160 grams. Listen, this scale is a little dirty, all right? It's from the day. This is going to be 160 grams. 185. I'm getting pretty good at that, man. I'm getting decently good at that. Whey protein. So, protein-wise, whey is good. Some people don't like, they don't like how it makes their stomach feel, but that might not be the whey aspect and more so just the additives in that stuff. I recently just got something called, it's from Santa Cruz Paleo. Some guy on TikTok. And this protein has, the ingredients are just grass-fed whey protein isolate. Isolate's good for folks that are lactose intolerant. Coconut creamer, dehydrated strawberries, natural flavors, Himalayan pink salt, monk fruit extract, ground cinnamon powder. That's pretty clean ingredients. And I like it so far. Is the flavor life-changing? I don't know. I usually don't drink my protein with water. And in that case, I mix that with milk and I add it to my yogurt bowl to add more protein to it. Before, I would get brownie batter protein from Ecovision, which I still think I like a lot in my shakes, but I never really had brownie batter with water or milk by itself. So, there's that. Better to eat slowly? Kinda. I mean, it's not like the end all be all. Like if you eat slowly, it won't just solve your problems. If you're trying to lose weight, your goal is to eat more protein and fiber. Don't eat only protein and fiber, but just have more protein and fiber and eat more whole foods. If you do that, you will almost certainly lose weight. Try and cut out things that are calorically dense that don't really give you much benefit, such as sodas. If you drink sodas and you're trying to lose weight, drink diet soda. That's a much better decision. I don't care what folks have to say about like the artificial sweeteners. I think that if you're, I know that if you are absurdly overweight, that is far more catastrophic to your health than any potential downside to the artificial sweeteners have, which the literature so far does not show them to have anything crazy like folks trying to allude to. Like in my case, for instance, I'm trying to lose weight, and even for like, dude, it gets tough when you start to get to a certain point because your body sort of adapts to it. So I have to make, like, not sacrifices, but I can't have as much food as I want to, even in a deficit. Before I was doing like 2,400 calories, which I was still losing weight, but not as much as I want to. Now I'm doing 20 or 2,000 calories roughly. Oh yeah, don't eat out. If you can help it, you want to make meals at home. It is cheaper. I know folks will say that eating healthy is more expensive. Not really, especially since a lot of folks order food. If you DoorDash food to your house, that's like an extra, you're doubling the price of a meal. If it's 15 bucks for a meal and you DoorDash it, chances are it'll now be 30 bucks for that meal. So people, they claim some nonsense. Also, if you ever make potatoes in the air fryer, don't get yellow potatoes. They don't do well. At least mine don't. You're better off with russet. Russet taters. These are always tough to cook in there, and it's kind of a pain. What's your take on intermittent fasting? Well, intermittent fasting is just you not eating. So the most beneficial part of intermittent fasting to me is the idea of prolonging when you eat food. That way you have a shorter window to eat food in. Now, in saying that, it doesn't change a whole lot if you can eat a lot of food in a very short time frame like I can. So what I do instead, because I've also been hearing that it's ideal if you're trying to build muscle and you're trying to maintain muscle mass, you want to try and eat protein when you wake up. Not instantly, but around the time you wake up, you want to have a hit of protein. So I don't do intermittent fasting anymore. I used to, and I didn't mind it. But these days, I just wake up and I have a essentially pre-workout meal with some protein and a lot of carbs. And then I go and work out. And so I have my first meal. I don't have my next meal until, like, let's say 3 hours later. But intermittent fasting is cool. A lot of those things, a lot of like the strats for losing weight, there's not really like any godsend that exists for that. They're just tools you can use, and you find the ones that work for you and you go with them. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these like this, I guess. Hey, I got good angles right now. I kind of forgot. Look at me. Versatile content creator, by the way. Also, my counter is actually not that messy, for once. I'm working on it. New meta for losing weight. The meta for losing weight is literally to just eat whole natural foods as much as you possibly can, focusing on protein and fiber. If the food had a mom and a dad, grew in the ground, chances are probably a good choice. And you can still eat the food you like to eat. Like if you want to lose weight, you can eat burgers. If you want to gain weight, you can eat burgers. There are so many options that you can partake in, especially if you don't have any sort of health restrictions and you don't have any allergies that are too severe. There's keto buns, there's low-fat cheese, no-fat cheese. There's mozzarella that's like 9 grams of protein per 40 calories. That's crazy. But so many ways you can make things lower calorie and still taste good if you want to. And you can sort of make sacrifices, or you can not make sacrifices in certain areas to reach the goals you want to. But it all comes down to experimentation. And one thing that folks have to be real with themselves about is snacking and whatnot. And sort of, people don't make good enough choices in a lot of cases. For instance, if you're gonna eat food that you know isn't that great for you, make it taste really good. Don't just eat nonsense that you're like, I guess it's okay. Like, I went to a bounce house place twice now for first time it was for my niece and nephew's birthday, and second time was for their sister's daughter's birthday. They served garbage pizza. The first time I had like a slice and was like, not a fan. Second time I went, I just didn't have pizza. I instead made it a point to have a meal that I was going to like that day before going. That way I wouldn't be hungry at the convention or at the party itself. Because why eat food you don't actually like, that isn't conducive to your goals, and will only set you back? Now in the same vein, you can also eat food that isn't going to be like the perfect thing for you. Like I'm going to probably have a burger tomorrow that's going to be like a pound. It's going to be on Texas toast with some tots, because you don't get fat in one day, you also don't get skinny in one day. The goal is consistency. If you are consistent for the majority of the year, like the vast majority of the year, you'll make progress. Because what? 56 weeks in a year, if you have one day you eat like one meal that's over your calories, if that week you reach your caloric goals for the most part and you're still in a deficit, you're fine. But that's one thing I've been hearing about recently that makes a lot of sense. If you're going to treat yourself, make it an actual treat. Because if you do that and you make it worth getting, chances are you won't have to embark on it as often. But if you always have this low effort treat that's also easy to access, it's not going to be as fulfilling, and you'll indulge on it more often because it's easier to obtain. An example of that is go to a fancy baking place and get some dope pastries versus eating Reese's Cups by the handful. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, this thing. Well, actually first I gotta dry this off with the handy dandy potato towel. Didn't think you had legs. I got, so real, like, in terms of like, you mean like musculature wise, my legs are lacking. I'm working on it though. When I start bulking, I think I will be focusing on legs pretty heavy. Um, 5'3" content creator, by the way. I'll have you know that my ID card says I'm 5'11". I'm actually 5'10" though. So the government is overestimating my height. And I can use that number whenever I want to. Okay, today, so 180 grams on this potato. I think we'll do 3 hash browns because I want to. Now we have to add some oil. Everyone and their mother recommends using spray oil. Spray oil. I don't have that, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna use like maybe 30 calories, 40 calories of olive oil. It's fine. You always film yourself as though you're talking head. Fair enough. I missed the potato. Don't know, haven't touched Helldivers in over a year. It's one of those things, man. Like, as a live service game, the goal of Helldivers 2 is to make itself fun enough that you keep logging in. Not every single time, but in my case, I'm someone that can play a game for a prolonged period of time. I put thousands of hours into Dauntless, thousands of hours into Apex, thousands of hours into Overwatch, 1,000 in Helldivers 2. And Helldivers 2 is one of the few cases, one of the first cases where quickly I lost interest because of the changes that they made that were bad. But I don't really blame the devs anymore, I blame the players. The folks that defend the changes these days, they're the problem. They've always been the problem. Because the devs seemingly want to make the game good. If they didn't, they wouldn't have done that 60-day plan. They wouldn't have made these changes in the first place. So the problem these days is the players, and it's kind of hard to sort of correct their horrendous view on games in the first place. So that's to the point that I'll probably just, the second a new game comes out, hey man, I'm not going to quit Helldivers 2, but I'm definitely going to take a bit of a step back. Just a slight step back. You know what I mean? Because why play a game when everyone's going to sit there and try and say, guys, the new SMG is the best AR. It's just an SMG that has horrible recoil. It's two-handed. It has range fall off. And it has a small magazine. So it's an SMG that has no upsides of an SMG and only the downsides of an SMG and AR characteristics. That's garbage. Congratulations. So common sense doesn't exist. Like, nobody should be out here going, this thing is awesome, guys. Because it doesn't make any sense. Just make it an AR. Make it an AR make it an AR with no fall off and call it a day. It's also, there's no fast fire rate either. They just made an AR and called it an SMG, and folks are pogging because it's different. All right, so with these yellow potatoes, I don't know how to do this. What is a good brand for air fryer? I have Ninja. I don't like it that much. Anywho, I'm putting these, I got 3 hash browns, 180 grams of potatoes in this Ninja air fryer. I'm gonna do 400 degrees for 18 minutes. And I think at the 16-minute mark, I'll take out the hash browns and let the potatoes cook a bit longer. Well, here's the thing, liking a weapon is not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you can't like the new weapons. That's never been my, like, if you like using something, use it. My thing is when folks defend it. Especially when they defend it vehemently. And defending it's not going, I like it. That's, you do what you want. Defending it's going, no, it's actually amazing, guys. I don't see the complaints. I don't see the issues, man. It's fantastic, and folks have to get good. Eh? Eh? How we liking the angle? It's decent or nah? I mean, I'm like, oh, look at that. Look at that. We're nuts. This pan's not going to be heated up properly. Actually, we got time. And then I can show you. I don't have much counter space. Folks grill me for it all the time. I keep all my stuff on the counter I use every day. I use a lot of things. By the way, I do take creatine every day, okay? And I use electrolytes every day. If I ever promote these two things, I take them literally like the moment I wake up, I take these. Well, it's either the moment I wake up or after I have my rice cakes and PB Fit. So I shill the things I use, all right? I also take magnesium L-threonate, but that stuff's expensive, so I don't really shill it too much. It's like $70 for 60 servings. I think it helps. The way you test if supplements work, by the way, is you use them for like a month and you stop using them. If you feel worse or better, well, there you have it. Now you know if it did something or not. Here's the problem. Reading this chat, kind of an issue. Omega-3s, I don't eat fish. Vitamin D3, I'm a vampire. Can't believe some people think the SMG would be too strong if it were one-handed. Those people are goofy. You see? Like, those are the weirdos, man. There's no thought behind those eyes. There's no thoughts behind those comments. They're basically, those are people that are, you know, like those AI, those content farms people have that just are people trying to rage bait you, and it's just one person with 1,000 phones in front of them. That's what those comments are. That's who they're from. Why creatine? Creatine is one of the most well-researched supplements in the world, and it has benefits that I myself find tangible. Like, from my own feeling and also from the literature, I know that creatine is a fantastic supplement. Helps you with building muscle, and they're researching potential for cognitive benefits, especially in older people. The cognitive benefits part, they are just now doing research, so it's not exactly set in stone, but there is rather good research to show that this does help you. Because your body apparently stores creatine in A, your muscles, and B, in your brain. And folks that take creatine had increased creatine stores in their brain. So I think it's worth trying. This is also from Ecovision's $27 for 200 servings. That is pretty damn good. That's 200 days for $27. I get no commission on this, by the way. I just like it. So that'd be using code OhDough. Why my code? I don't know. If the number goes up, they might like that. Be like, dang, Doe sold a lot of creatine. Or maybe they wouldn't, because I think that they sell creatine at a loss. Wild stuff. All right, we have to put the eggs here. But I think creatine's amazing, man. I've taken creatine for the past 12 years. First, I used Optimum Nutrition, but they're not really a great brand as far as I know. And their creatine's also $80 for 240 servings, which is a lot more than $27 for 200 servings. Even with the $10 shipping that Ecovision has. In other words, if you do want to use my code and get things that will give me money, the underwear Ecovision has, low-key kind of bussin'. I bought 5 pairs myself, but size up. TMI? No, it's not. It's fine. Chonies are important. It's also hard to find good chonies these days. There's a thing on TikTok where you can get free stuff, which I haven't done. I'm gonna get, so the first time I'm doing something or I get something free is gonna be this. I wanna get more of this real quick. So Ecovision has sent me a free one through TikTok Shop, and you have to make a video promoting it essentially. I use it every day, shouldn't be a big deal, but you can do the same thing, I'm pretty sure, for their underwear. And folks have fit checks. Could be a print check angle. But no, ain't no shot. That'd be like posting a video to get no views and you're embarrassing yourself. All right, this angle's sick. I'm actually proud of myself. I saw someone on the internet do this. I noticed they had their tripod on the counter, and I thought to myself, that's pretty genius. So all this stuff is from me putting this powder and also this protein into a small little cup that I can't even find. And it gets this area messy every single day. It's fine though. Grab a bowl. Creatine helps your muscles recover much faster as your body retains more water. I was reading that. More water nutrients in the muscles, let alone the benefits of the creatine itself. Yeah, creatine, it's phenomenal. I feel like even if you don't lift, you should be trying creatine. Because for how cheap creatine can be, you want to get creatine, you want to get micronized creatine monohydrate. Get it from Ecovision if you want to, but get it from somebody. Find one that's third-party tested, like Ecovision is, and just take it. Take it for at least 2 weeks. That's a made-up time frame, but just like try it for a prolonged period of time, and just really think about how it made you feel. And if you want to, after those 2 weeks or maybe a month, stop taking it and see if you feel better or worse after you stop taking it for another week or so. Because I've done that recently with things like magnesium glycinate. Certain brands of magnesium glycinate, which I use to fall asleep better, they make me feel groggy when I wake up. And I noticed that, and I just stopped taking the magnesium glycinate from these brands. It's all... Creatine, I think, is a more generalized thing where it'll benefit a lot of people. The glycinate, more subjective on like which brands won't really make you feel great. It's kind of like with artificial sweeteners. Some people get headaches from sucralose. Others get headaches from, I think it's aspartame. Is that a sweetener? Or aspartame, as they call it. So people gotta do a better job of being aware of how certain foods make them feel. I think that's pretty important. You know what I mean? In the same vein, stop eating that crumble cookie, brother. Insomnia's better in the first place. You're still 5'11", 110. You are not eating enough food, my good sire. Or ma'am. You didn't take more calories if you're working out. If working out at a caloric deficit, you'll not see growth. How metabolism will burn the calories needed to grow your muscles. The thing is, this like whole people, high metabolism, low metabolism, I feel like that's a crutch these days. Because if I had a picture of myself right now, I'd show you. But imagine me at 5'10", weighing 130 pounds when I was 15. And the next 3 years, I went to 100, basically 190, 200 pounds. Not because of a growth spurt, nothing like that. I ate more food. The answer that people seek is not glamorous, but if you're trying to lose weight, you should probably look at your caloric intake and be real with yourself, track what you eat for at least a week, and figure out your habits, figure out what may be a weakness. And if you're trying to gain weight, be real with yourself, measure your food, use a weight scale, get an app like Chronometer, MyFitnessPal, measure what you eat, and measure everything to a decent degree. I promise you, the folks that can't gain weight aren't being consistent with their calories. The folks that can't lose weight are not being consistent with their calories. The amount of exceptions that exist are so small, yet so many people have them, or feel like they have them. Like I wouldn't even say there's exceptions to the rules, because if you starve someone, they'll lose weight. If you force feed someone, they'll gain weight. But the thing is, so many people want to have an excuse, and it just comes down to being more realistic with yourself. And you can't lie to the scale. Like the scale, it won't lie. Unless your scale's off, which mine actually might be. Then it may lie a little bit. Take a extended break from Helldivers too. I think my plan is to probably do something like that. But the thing is, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do outside of Helldivers 2. Because before the game released, I was playing other games. Like, I didn't build my channel off Helldivers 2. I already had like 100K subscribers, but subscribers, people that watch the content matter. The number of subscribers you have, it doesn't actually matter that much unless you're talking about sponsors and whatnot. But I played Dauntless for a while. That was the first game I really made content off of. That blew the channel up like crazy. Then I played Remnant 2, Overwatch 2, Pal Worlds, Remnant 2, a lot of 2s in there. But right now, I don't know what else to play I could play right now that people want to watch. And if you're a content creator full time and you don't have a game to play that folks want to watch, what do you do? But at the same time, Helldivers 2, I don't enjoy playing it, so it will probably legitimately just be complaining unless the devs make good decisions, which they really haven't done a good job of outside of the 60-day plan that I gave praise to. So definitely a weird spot right now. Like, I could maybe try and stream games and see how that goes. And if I get sponsors, maybe it'll work out. But a lot of maybes involved there, man. When in reality, I got some goals, dude. I'm trying to help my family out. I'm trying to help them with some bills. But it's hard to do that when you can't really help yourself too much. And you're just skating by perpetually. Speaking of things, if you want to try some stainless steel pans, Heritage X Eater. Heritage X Eater. I recommend them pretty heavily. I've only tried 2 brands, which is going to be Maiden right here. I like it, don't get me wrong. But I think Heritage it's slightly more cost effective and the same quality, from what I can tell. They're both I think they're both 5-ply cladded stainless steel. If you want to make eggs, this pan is 8.5. This pan is 10.5 inches, and it makes 6 eggs to, I think, probably like 10 eggs pretty well. They also sell like a 12-inch pan and a 14-inch skillet. I think I need to get like a 12-inch pan next time from them. I have a code in the description if you want to try them out. This is ready. Turn this down. Grab the butter. Again, people recommend using spray butter. I don't have that. I'm gonna turn this down right quick. Your favorite Dauntless weapon? I loved the axe and repeaters a lot. Those 2 weapons were absurdly fun to me. Honestly, I like playing most weapons in that game. It's more of a question of what weapons did I not like in Dauntless. And I would say my least favorite would be the Warpike and the Chain Blades. They shouldn't have much soul to me. No matter what iteration you're talking about, they really didn't feel that fun. Too hot. Not a big deal, but still too hot. Now, folks worrying about butter, that was maybe 40 calories of butter. Maximum 50. It's not a big deal. And again, use spray, like olive oil spray or what have you, and this does not become as much of an issue if you're worried about the calories from butter and whatnot. Light bowgun and great sword. Oh, for Monster Hunter? My favorite weapons in Monster Hunter would be the charge blade, long sword, and I think that I'm gonna really like the bow in the current Monster Hunter Wilds because, brother, they cooked with that weapon. You have better iframes than most weapons. Dodging attacks rewards you. You don't have to make... I don't believe you have to make your ammo anymore. You can just recharge it mid-fight. You just reload your weapon somehow, some way. The same way, like, I think doing damage gives you back your ammo coatings or your arrow coatings. Like, it is so freaking sick. think I got the heat wrong on this. So it won't stick necessarily, but every time I do this on stream, it's not as good. I'm pissed. Maybe I should use more butter. That's always the answer. Nah, it's fine. Well, the hash browns may be burnt. Who cares? Is there any new weapons in Wilds or any new weapons that didn't return? I don't believe so. There's 14 weapons in Wilds so far. I don't know the names by heart, but they're the same 14 I remember seeing. I hope that Wilds adds a freaking parasol, like an umbrella weapon. I'm not confident in flipping this with like the actual pan itself, so I cut them into 4 squares and flip them individually. But so far I've played the charge blade, the long sword. I tried hammer, but I didn't really know what I was doing. When I learn how to play hammer, I think it'll be really fun. I tried great sword, also had zero idea what I'm doing. And I think that some weapons, they're a lot, like some weapons are fun even when you're lost. Other weapons, it depends. Like I think that longsword, you could have no idea how to use it. If you hit a single counter, you'll be like, whoa, that was wicked, dude. Charge blade, kind of the same deal. You don't know you don't know how to play it, but you hit like a single perfect guard, goated. All right, chat. All I'm saying is, even when I mess up, I don't mess up. The eggs didn't stick. Stainless steel for the win, yet again. It's like the 4th or 5th egg stream I've done. What more can I do to show you the power of stainless? There's so much oil on the counter, what the heck? Like, look. Move. Thank you. This, I don't know what to call it. Someone mentioned it's like when you burn butter and oil on a pan, which I've done a couple times. I can get that out. I just wait to do so because I don't feel like cleaning the pan all the time. I think it's a user error situation. Because for a solid month, my pan was rather spotless, and then one day I burnt butter. And lo and behold, wait, I'm gonna clean this. Give you the OF angle. Ow, son of a bitch! That was hot. What are other games coming out? Because some folks are mentioning that 2025 is going to be stacked for gaming. Because I already know that my game of the year is probably going to be Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh, in other news, Apex Legends is trolling right now. They've had their lowest player count in a long, long time. I know the player counts, everyone always like gets hyperbolic about them, but they went from 400,000 players at, I think, the same time last year to 100,000 below that. That's not good. Like, that's an example of it not being ideal. And I think I know why. They're not very innovative. Unlike Fortnite, which do all kinds of nonsense. They made Lego Fortnite. Lego Fortnite is kind of sick. If you want to play a survival game that I think is pretty good, that's also free, Juego Fortnite, pretty goated. Bro cooking, when did you get when did your get approved for money? What? You mean like to buy food? I've been approved. I approved myself. Also what the I couldn't. Electrolytes. Hey, those are good for you. I appreciate the tan, brother. Thank you very much. I've been approved, man. I'm like a quarter-star chef in this piece. Oh, Assassin's Creed? Isn't Assassin's Creed, aren't they struggling? Like severely? Ooh, okay. So let's not go too off track here. How is the reception to the new Dragon Age game at the moment? Because I remember that not being ideal. I gotta clean a bowl. Son of a biscuit. Now, most of my bowls are in my dishwasher, because normally I have a clean sink rule, but today I did not have that rule, or yesterday rather. They can hear the water on, they're gonna yell at me. If I keep it on, but very, very gentle, they won't know. All right. Dude, the angles are goated, right? Okay, this angle, it makes me look so short. This angle sucks. I'm pissed. You're ignoring Dragon Age? I saw some gameplay for it. Like, I'm not looking into any of the more hot button topics about the game, but I've seen some gameplay. I'm burning my vegetables. And the gameplay did not look that enticing, man. But maybe Dragon Age is about story. What I did hear is it was like PC Rant, IGN, somebody. They intentionally were asked or either decided to leave out part of the game in terms of dialogue because it would get backlash. Like, what the what? And that's where we're at with gaming? So if the game's about dialogue, and people are leaving out dialogue on purpose in reviews because it might get backlash, I feel like you're making a mistake. Somebody may have burnt the vegetables. I'm not going to name names. Where's my spatula at? Where's my chocolate bar? Okay, somebody burnt the vegetables. That's unfortunate. So maybe add a little bit more water. Like, I think I added too high of heat, and it was in there for too long. I should have known. In my defense, this stove is not very great. That's my excuse until the end of time. All right. People say you can use a metal spatula on these pans. I'm scared to do it though. Oh well. Ignore your ears real quick. It's also not really helping much. Okay, the power of water. Go, go, gadget water. When in doubt, water and soak. Call it a day. On stream, this is the second time this has happened. Out of 5 cooking streams, making the same meal. I got versatility, man. What can I say? Also, what up, Urukon? How you liking Monster Hunter Wild, brother? Okay, we move this. We grab this. We're missing one thing. Maybe 2 things if I want to add salt. Now it's time for the potatoes. Yeah. Boom. Easy. We're doing big things, like running out of salsa. Listen, y'all wait here. I need a freaking gulp gate on this microphone. Because some folks are not consenting to hearing me glorp down this food, and I respect that. Hammer felt nice. I don't know how to use Hammer yet, man. I see the vision for Hammer, but I don't know what I'm doing, so it feels not bad, but it feels, I feel lost. Wait. How is this? Bro, I'm getting good with the angles, man. I'm gonna be a problem. Good-ish. Hey, we're sideways, but good-ish. Greatsword sick. They put so much emphasis on having counters in Monster Hunter Wilds, and it is one of the best decisions they've ever made. Charge Blade, perfect counter by timing it correctly. On the Greatsword, you can do that one thing that's also kind of like a perfect counter. On the bow, no perfect counters as far as I know, but you have dodging that's more generous than most weapons. So they're basically trying to encourage you to stay in the fight and to dodge or counter attacks. That's the most fun a hunting game can be. So Monster Hunter, they're kind of cooking. They're cooking rather severely right now, in like the best way possible. You think that they were like, I guess in like Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, apparently. I didn't really play many Monster Hunting games outside of Monster Hunter World and maybe a bit of Rise. I only played the very mainstream ones. Oh no, the perfect dodge is, dude, on bow, perfect dodge feels sick. And it encourages you to actually use it because it gives you your, what are they called? The sparkler thing. You can like do a sparkler bow that also tracks your shots. It guides your arrows. And then you can use your other ability to sort of ignite that sparkler. And then you have the rain down arrows that used to be boulders. Now they're actual arrows. And some of them are the ignition arrows that you can then combo with and make them explode too. Monster Hunter Wilds, man. I'm hoping I can make content for that game and make it work out because I want to grind that game like no one's business. That's a game where skill progression, actually being good at the game, is rewarding. I feel like recently a lot of games haven't really had that. So gotta move the mic. To where? I don't know. Hello? You can hear me a little bit. Is she making videos on it in the same style as Wild Hearts? Probably. Really hope they don't drop the ball. Give the game some longevity. I think they will. If they have enough monsters to fight, that's all you really need to have in Monster Hunter Wilds. Have enough monsters to fight, make the weapons baseline sick, and then go from there. Attach the mic to the camera so we get maximum immersion. How? That looks weird. Like that? It's not magnetic anywhere. Try Sword and Shield. It's more effective than you'd think. I'll play it. My goal yesterday was trying to get decent with the longsword and charge blade. I think I got decent with the longsword. I didn't get decent with the charge blade though, unfortunately. I'm 100% correct in Monster Hunter series. What? Thoughts on the reprimand SMG? It's pretty bad. Reasons why? It's not an SMG. You can't just make a weapon, call it an SMG when it has a small magazine, a slow fire rate, horrible recoil. It's two-handed. And the only thing about it that has an SMG quality that's consistent in the game is the fact that you have fall-off range that's not very generous. It's like after 30 meters, apparently, it loses a lot of damage. So the only part about this that's SMG is the negative part. That makes no damn sense. So it's not an SMG. It's just an AR disguised as SMG. But they did that so they could give it another detriment, which is fall-off range. That would make no sense for an AR. I learned Charge Blade though, since their designs were always so dope. Bro, that's the other thing. I haven't seen any cool designs in the game yet, and the weapons still feel fun to use. So you could grind for more cool looking armor in Monster Hunter Wilds as well. I'm moving the camera over here, or the microphone. See what's popping. Just missing some bacon bits or sausage. I want to do a thing with my brother where we meal prep on Sundays or something, and we meal prep breakfast burritos. It'd be center cut bacon, which is better for macros, and still tastes like bacon, I'm pretty sure. Sausage, eggs, cheese, and a tortilla. Try and make it high protein, low-ish calories, however you can. But I don't want to use egg whites because whole eggs have more micronutrients and they taste better. But that would be sick. I'm just not sure if the play is to store these burritos in tinfoil or to get them vacuum sealed. So my bro, he tried to get big. He was already a big dude. Like, not fat or nothing, but he was like 200 pounds, 6 foot. He was watching Sam Sulek, and Sam Sulek's always making jokes like victim weight this, if you're below 200 victim weight, which he was already 200 pounds, so I'm not sure why he indulged in that. And then he wanted to get big. He wanted to bulk. If you already have a decent bit of body fat on you and you don't have that much muscle, you're better off getting cut first, like losing weight, getting to a respectable low body fat percentage, like 10%, 12%, and then starting to bulk from there, but like a lean bulk. He didn't do that. He's 200 pounds. You could tell he has some decent body fat on him, and he started to bulk up eating peanut butter with like most meals. And now he's like 220, 230, and he feels like shit. Shocking. And I told him not to do this. I told him not to do it, especially not dirty bulking. Like a lean bulk wouldn't have made sense, but dirty bulking never makes sense. Unless you're anorexic, maybe. But now he wants to kind of lose weight a little bit, but not too much, because if you really want to do something, you'll do it. There is no, man, I want to lose weight, I want to gain weight, I want to embark on these journeys. If you do, you will actively make steps towards it. I think, at least. And I say that as someone that wants to do certain things, I think, but I don't actually commit to them. So if you really want something, you'll commit towards it. You'll make the active steps towards it. Yeah, that's what I said too. Like, I was like, bro, Sam's on all kinds of PEDs. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean that what advice he gives will never apply to you, but you shouldn't take what he says so seriously. but he did. I have a reactive airway disease, scar tissue on my lungs and heart, so working out for me is difficult regardless. That's completely different. Like what I'm talking about, I'm talking about like the average person that has no real health issues. It can kind of hear me swallow. It's kind of strange. Thoughts on Monster Hunter Wilds? Amazing. If you have time, you should definitely play Monster Hunter Wilds. It's gonna be the best monster game they've ever made. At least in terms of player count. And I think that in terms of fun, it's gonna be a lot more fun than Monster Hunter Worlds and Rise. Is laziness a health issue? I mean, in some cases, it's not necessarily laziness. I think there's so many people giving advice that isn't exactly helpful that folks get paralyzed by. It's analysis paralysis. And other people will look for like the best and shortest way. They'll look for the shortcuts, which don't really exist. At least not the ones that are wise to take. Because think about it. You go on social media, you go on TikTok, Instagram, you go on anything that's like a short form media site or even long form like YouTube. You'll see these videos popping off recommending the most strange, they recommend a shortcut to building muscle, to getting slim, and these things are very short-lived in almost every sense of the word. I guess except for like Ozempic, I wouldn't call it like a trend though. Like Ozempic, it just basically it removes the willpower aspect because it just makes it so you're not hungry anymore, as far as I know. I've been told it paralyzes your stomach, but that sounds a little, doesn't sound like it's impossible to do, but it just sounds a little potentially hyperbolic, and I haven't researched it yet. I still use your flare daily on Dauntless. You play that game daily? Now that's commitment. Are you excited for the new update? The new Dauntless update in December, as far as I know. Can you please play Dauntless? I really miss the contact. The contact. When they update it, I will. Until then, I probably won't. Ever eat red meat to lunch? Yeah, a lot. My diet is basically eggs, dairy. So I do 6 eggs a day. I have Fairlife milk. How much I have of that, it depends. Vegetables, broccoli, carrots, and whatnot. And for lunch, it depends because normally I do red meat at night. Not that it matters, but just it's how I do my meal plan, my meal stuff. I do a goulash, which is half a pound of ground beef with peeled tomatoes and beef bone broth. And then I used to do a shake, which I haven't been doing recently because I'm trying to just like cut out some calories here and there. And instead of doing a shake, I just mix protein powder with my yogurt and like a little bit of Fairlife milk. So my diet is mostly, in terms of meats, in terms of protein, be like whey protein or red meat, whey protein, eggs. I eat the same thing every day. I do. I've done this stream like 4 or 5 times now. Where I make eggs, I have potatoes, hash browns, vegetables, salsa, same thing every day. Start working out again. Motivation is harder to become by as I get older. The thing is, at a certain point, I think the best motivation is realizing that if you don't work out, you'll feel worse. if you work out, the benefits are you will live a longer and healthier life. When you build muscle, I remember hearing that it helps mitigate the effects or potential of growing cancer, something like that. But the main thing is you'll feel better. And after almost every lift I've done in my life, I've felt better after doing it. So motivation stops being something, it stops being external and it becomes internal for me. For instance, Helldivers 2, they do updates for content at 5 in the gosh darn morning. Recently, I wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning on those days. I don't do content first. I go to the gym first because I'd rather do that, start my day off well in that sense, and then I do content afterwards. And I still bitch and complain about Helldivers 2. Isn't that crazy? I should feel good at the gym, and I do. But Helldivers content's not good enough to offset that. But yeah, it's about finding internal motivation, because if you're always looking for external motivation, you'll just be searching and searching forever. Okay, so these veggies I burnt. Like, this is not ideal. This is not a good look. The top of the veggies I burnt to hell. Oh well. Oh, I didn't go to the gym for 7 years. I was pretty heavy into lifting when I was 15 to 19 or so, 20. After 20, I haven't been to a gym since I was 27. And that started like maybe a month and a half ago. Yeah, I'll play Wilds tonight, I'm pretty sure. I think I might redo the primary ceremonial tier list tonight, just cause I want to give more thoughtful critiques. Last night I kind of rushed it. I might do that, might not. But afterwards, I'm playing Monster Wilds. Yeah, the burnt broccoli, it's not bad. It's just not ideal. It tastes like baby food. Like, I imagine it tastes like what baby food feels like texture-wise. So you have the broccoli taste, but the baby food texture. Yeah, I heard the characters move with us in the main game. Had a lot of folks say that last night in the stream. But we can change characters whenever we want to, correct? I don't think that too much progress carries over. So, fresh is best, canned is banned, frozen is chosen. What that means essentially is like, if you can have fresh and it makes sense, go with fresh food, go with like fresh food, produce, whatever you can. But I think that frozen's the play. On frozen vegetables and frozen fruit, they don't go bad. They don't go bad quick enough in the time frame I use them. So I have frozen vegetables every day. I have frozen fruit every single day. I love it. I look forward to these veggies every day. I look forward to my yogurt bowl with frozen veggies or frozen fruit. Ugh. Imagine yogurt and frozen vegetables. But I look forward to these meals. And for the longest time, I had frozen strawberries with my shake. But recently, I haven't been doing that. I will be giving my nieces and nephews some strawberries tomorrow, though. Because I don't really have snacks in the house for kids, which is honestly a good thing because they've eaten way too many snacks in the first place. So if they want some sweet stuff, I'll put some strawberries in the microwave. Bone apple teeth. What are your thoughts on the scythe now that you can zoom in a lot? That's cool, I guess. I'm American, yeah. It's Texas. It's currently 4:39 p.m. All right, so my real breakfast is this. When I wake up, I do 2 scoops of creatine, so 10 grams of creatine, 1 scoop of electrolytes from Ecovision, and then I have 4 rice cakes. This is 3 right here. And I do 2 servings of PB Fit. And then I go work out. That's my breakfast, if you want to call it that. My first like meal is this. So I call it breakfast because this is more like a snack. And I mix that PB Fit powder with milk. It makes like a paste. It's kind of like Nutella in a sense. The less liquid you add, the more paste it becomes. It's pretty good. When do you have lunch? Well, normally I have breakfast at like noon-ish, like 11 p.m. or usually like noon 1. I'll have my next meal usually 3 to 4 hours after my first meal, just because of how timing works. Which used to be a shake, now it's goulash. When's dinner? Today, I probably won't go to bed until 1 or 2 p.m. 1 or 2 a.m. So the last meal I have is a yogurt bowl. 200 grams of Oikos, zero sugar, or no. It's 200 grams of Oikos protein yogurt, a scoop of Santa Cruz Paleo protein powder, and 150 grams or 200 grams of frozen berries. That's my last meal. I have that right before bed. Now, when I start bulking, I can have a lot more food. Right now, I have to be reserved. Back to work. Work on. Have a good day, bro. Later, dog. Thoughts on Pal World? I feel like I was pretty harsh on Pal World because when it first came out, I loved it. And then I thought to myself, this game only did so well because it didn't like steal ideas from Pokemon, but it kind of piggybacked off the idea of Pokemon, which I think is kind of true. But Pal World's a pretty good game, and they made some nice improvements to it. I just don't really feel the need to go back and play it though, because for me in survival games, I like when they have good combat, and Pal, it's not really about combat, which is like the game's not really about having good combat. So that's like a downside to me as a player. But overall, I think it's a pretty sick game. Like playing it for the first time is pretty dope. You're in intermittent fasting. I have a big lunch, a snack, then a small dinner. Keep my calories in a 6 to 8 hour window. Keep my calories around 1,900, down 30 pounds. And after the COVID bod happened, fair enough. Right now, I do roughly 2,000 calories. And to make up for that, I'm running like, I do 2 hours of cardio a day roughly. I do 7 to 8 miles on the elliptical at the gym, and then I do 3 miles at the house. And 3 miles walking is like an hour on its own. And that is doing pretty good for me so far. You bike 15 miles on a bike a day and lift on my lunch break. That's the play. I always wonder how many calories a bike burns realistically versus just like walking. Because folks will always like, people recommend doing incline treadmill walking, but I don't like it that much. Because I like walking outside. And I like biking because I can bike and not have to worry about my balance. I can just pedal and like zone out and go on my phone. Get a piece? Nah, bro. I've already done the macros. I can't share. Ever played a game that was so bad, it looped back around to being good for you? No. Like, I mean, like, the game was so bad, and the game didn't change at all, and I just was okay with it? No. Starship Troopers? No shot, dog. I'm glad I got that game for free. Weed Shop Simulator win? I don't even know. Weed Shop Simulator. Those are games, I feel like It's so out of my wheelhouse to try and be into those kinds of games. I kind of crutch on gameplay. So like in Helldivers, I crutch on the moment to moment nonsense that goes on. That helps me out a ton. Who'd you main in Overwatch 1? Zenyatta and Orisa and Mei and Hanzo and Zarya. Mostly Zen and Orisa though. But I was pretty good at most characters. Or I was pretty good at a few characters. This is more than 10 seconds you were allotted for the food, Helldiver. Get back to the battlefield immediately. Or face immediate punishment of me touching your... What the f... Yo, bro. I'm gonna get rid of my family-friendly YouTube ads here, okay? How's Monster Hunter Wilds? It's phenomenal. I've been asked that like I think 4 times this stream, and every time it's phenomenal. Like the game is crazy. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna pre-order that game. Well, first I'm gonna hopefully try and get the game for free from Capcom. If I don't, I'll pre-order it, get like the biggest bundle. Because I believe in trying to support games that make good content, and Monster Hunter Wilds is freaking insane. The thing about Starship Troopers is that the game started out promising, but the developers made some weird choices. Guns became less effective via patches, and the community complained about it. At least the community like didn't like it. And Helldivers 2, the community loves that shit. They live for it. It's picking up my AC. Yeah, $70 for a game these days. It's unfortunate that games are going that route, but I think there's no way we can talk games down from doing that. That's like an instance where I legitimately don't see a world where we say, we won't pay $70, because a lot of folks are going to pay $70. They're going to pay that money. Nephews, when will you have kids yourself? I don't know. My life is in shambles currently. So once I have my life figured out, I'll work on that. But for now, nah. For Monster Hunter Wilds, have you seen how some people's graphics have been looking? I have, and I'm kind of jealous. That shit's, it looks hilarious to me. With Monster Hunter Wilds, you know you're gonna get a year and a half of free content, and then a DLC with more year and a half of content. That is true. Monster Hunter Worlds had a lot of stuff going on. I think that certain games deserve $70. Not all games do though. But Monster Hunter Wilds, Monster Hunter in general, like these are games that I think are worth $70. Especially if you already like hunting games, if you're already a Monster Hunter fan, then there's no real like trying to convince you, because you know it's worth it. Because if you get, let's say you get 70 hours for each dollar you spend, so 70 hours, $70. You made way more in terms of value if you enjoyed every single one of those hours from that content than you can get from most mediums of entertainment. A movie is $20 for one ticket without getting popcorn, any snacks, nothing like that. In some cases, like 2018 maybe, for 2 to 3 hours of content that you're just watching happen. A video game, you're the one at the wheel. That's how I view it. But I'm also someone that I know that when I play a game, if I really like it, I can play it for a long time. I look forward to that. So like a hunting game, there's so much progression. You have 14 weapons, tons of monsters to fight, and your goal should be to get, not amazing, but to improve with the weapons you use. And if you do that, the progression itself becomes the content, which is insane. The camera's low, it makes you hunch. Yeah, see? Elden Ring is the same thing. Elden Ring has so much content for what the price tag is on that game. Newest Monster Hunter game would be my first game. Would it actually be worth $70? I think so, but if you have a PC, try the demo right now. Or find time to try it this weekend, something like that. Because I think it's worth it. Just recognize that if you're not doing well with a weapon or not doing well right now, that means there's so much more progression to be had as long as you're willing to just put like a little bit of work in. Because Monster Hunter is a game that you don't have to be a good player to have fun, but you have to be someone that pays attention a little bit to games. The beta is free, yeah. So if you're on PC, I recommend trying it. Weapons to use if you're new to the genre, I think that longsword's pretty fun. The bow is pretty fun, although you might feel a bit weak because like weapons in some cases are based on builds, and there's a lot of intricacy to weapons, which is a good thing. It means there's a lot to learn. Progression, again, is a big deal in gaming to me. Hammer's kind of straightforward, but also complex. It's weird. I think dual blades. Dual blades might be the single best option if you don't know what you're doing at all. I haven't used them, so I'm just saying I think. I don't know. Tell me to use Insect Glaive? Hell no. I don't even want to use that weapon. Some folks love it. I have to get used to it. Greatsword is a terrible choice for beginners. I agree. Greatsword, I didn't have a bad time using it last night, but I felt so useless. But I know you can make Greatsword sick. Like, I know you can make it awesome, and that's the cool thing, dude. That's not true? Oh, it is. What do you mean? With Greatsword, you're so damn slow, and you will be missing so many hits. It is not a good option. I would say that Charge Blade is better for new players than Greatsword. Easily. What were the range options? Bow, light bow gun, heavy bow gun. Bow is freaking phenomenal. I haven't tried the light bow gun or heavy bow gun in Monster Hunter Wilds, but the bow, it might be the single best iteration of a ranged weapon in a hunting game ever made. I mean that too. The fact that they found a way to reward dodging attacks with a ranged weapon, and they made it meaningful, made it look cool, it's honestly impressive. And it's tied to two things, I'm pretty sure. They improved so many things about the bow that just make it so much fun. W meal macros. That's on my phone. So 6 eggs is roughly 320 grams of eggs, and that would be 440 calories, roughly 36 grams of protein, and it's like 5 grams of fat per egg is what I believe. So in total calories, it's like 100 something or 1,000 calories because I have 3 hash browns, which are pretty calorically dense for what they are. 180 grams of potatoes, and then I have my vegetables, which is 400 grams, but that's like 100 something calories. Protein, it's like around 40 or something because the broccoli has protein in it, but it's not that much. Like, it's like protein. I don't really count it that much. But this is my biggest meal of the day. Currently. When you lift. That wasn't an L, that was at 1 second. Ta-da! I do 4 rice cakes and 2 servings of PB Fit. It'd be 14 grams of carbs from the PB Fit, and then however many carbs you have from the rice cakes. That's my pre-workout meal, or snack. And then after you work out, it's recommended to replenish your glycogen stores, so you have more carbs. That's what I do. It works out pretty good. I like it. Bow counter, dodges came from Rise. That's good. But like Rise, I don't think was a very well received Monster Hunter game. Like most people that play Monster Hunter, well, not most, but some folks did not like Rise. Your girl likes PB Fit on rice cakes with honey and raisins. It's kind of godlike. You mix this with Fairlife milk or water if you want. It's basically Nutella or like a better version of peanut butter, I think. Kind of godlike. I watched a TikTok recently and they put me onto that, and I'm very thankful I saw that. And salt. So I wake up, I do two scoops of creatine, 10 grams, and then 1 scoop of electrolytes in the same cup. I drink that. So I get salt from that. And then I pretty much always put like a sprinkle of salt in my water, just cause I add minerals to it, salt being the mineral here. And that's how I do my daily stuff. Creatine, electrolytes, rice cakes, PB Fit, and some Nutella. Or some Fairlife milk to turn the PB Fit into Nutella in a sense. Ninja Creamy? No. I got my parents one. They liked it a lot. I tried one recently. I tried theirs cooking or making my food the way I normally do, and it almost was like kind of strange, like doing it how I do stuff. Like I tried to blend strawberries in the Ninja Creamy. Or no, first I blended the strawberries in a blender, then put that in the Ninja Creamy, and made some concoction, but it didn't really come out the way I wanted it to. And it somehow tasted better if I just blend it in the blender with milk, protein, and call it a day there. But I believe it was user error. We make protein ice cream with the Fairlife using the creamy. I want to try Fairlife's protein little shake things because it seems super convenient, but the 46 gram one is $4 a pop. So I might have to try the non 46 gram one. Didn't play World or Rise. Wait, you played Rise before World. Yeah, they're mad expensive. That's true. So I'm debating on it just for ease of access, ease of use. But right now, if I want to have like a protein snack on the go, I do Quest chips. Because they're also expensive, but it's not as expensive. It's like $2.50 a pop, 20 grams of protein, 140 calories roughly, and the chili lime one is the best one, easily. Because sometimes I have to have that as like an option, because things pop up, I gotta be somewhere. So having an on-the-go protein snack is kind of good. Sell your soul for a week's worth of 46 gram shakes? If a week's worth is more than my grocery bill. Wait, no. Never mind. I think it's like 46 bucks for a 12 count. Yeah, beef jerky is the play. I was doing that for a bit. I'm not sure why I stopped. Because beef jerky, if you get like good beef jerky, has absurdly good macros. For Final Fantasy, you fought a giant Kuliaka and Behemoth, got the full Draken set and the guy Bolg with the jump emote. If they do collabs in Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm in there like swimwear, man. The sodium? Sodium isn't that big a deal for, I wouldn't say most people, but for certain people it's not that big a deal. Like for me, I eat mostly whole food. So the only sodium I really intake is what I add to my food in the first place. But if you're eating like fast food once, twice a day, then maybe sodium's an issue. But even then, it kind of depends. Our sodium intake is a lot higher than some folks may think, and if you're active, it helps out a ton too. Like if you're active and you sweat a little bit or a lot of it, that's where like you might actually want to have an electrolyte of some kind. Yeah, beef jerky, it's expensive, but all protein stuff in general is pretty expensive. And beef jerky being essentially like a natural thing, it's pretty ideal. Like it's basically a whole food. But I would definitely watch out for how they sort of preserve it. And not all beef jerky is made equally, because sometimes beef jerky has a ton of fat in it, and if that's the case, it kind of defeats the purpose, I think. Only fat I've seen in jerky really is the sinew. I mean, like on the packaging, some jerky will have like 7 grams of fat per serving, or something like that, and it makes the overall calories from the jerky much higher than they should be. Because good jerky usually has like 1 gram of fat, or in some cases 0, or close enough to 0. What brands of beef jerky do you recommend? I tried Jack Link's and liked it. There's one called the Old Trapper. I forget which one I like the most. I tried 2 recent ones that are like names I never heard of. It was like the Old Trapper and the Huntsman or something like that. And one of them was really good, and I should have brought more of it, but I forgot. Yeah, Old Trapper. I think that's the one. Pretty good. Big fan. Now, the best jerky I've ever had is freaking deer jerky. You get that from the butcher or something like that. It's like the sticks, like the beef, the deer sticks. Those things go crazy hard. How's it picking up my gulping like that? What the hell? Yeah, my dad, I think he went hunting today. I think he's going hunting either today or tomorrow. So he might get a deer, and if he does, deer jerky. One thing I do get used to in wild is not trying to wirebug. Wirebug and clutch claw. So wirebug from Rise and clutch claw from Worlds. 2 things that are weird. You still have like a freaking grapple hook in Wild. I'm not sure how you're supposed to use it though. The jerky hut's pretty good. Huh. Is that a place? It's not for monsters. Can you grapple the ground, or can you like grapple terrain? Use it for the environmental stuff. I know you can grapple wire bugs and whatnot. There's some weapons that allow for movement with it, like the hammer. Yeah, I gotta figure that out. That could be game-changing potential. Weird to me how long it took for them to implement the grapple in World, given our characters would constantly grapple the flying creatures in cutscenes. Hey man, I'm just glad that they don't have Clutch Claw and they don't have Wire Bug. I also love the new system of wounding monsters by hitting a part repeatedly. I think that's actually very, very engaging. So Monster Hunter Wilds doing some pretty big things in terms of making their game more fun to play. And the weapon swapping, I forgot about that. It's kind of godlike, man. Would be cool if they added Warpike. I would like them to add an umbrella. Give me a parasail umbrella that's a counter weapon. More so than the longsword is. Like legitimately just copy whatever Wild Hearts had. You give me the weapon that we had in Wild Hearts, the umbrella, in Monster Hunter Wilds. In there like swimwear, son. That'd be so much fun. Mm-hmm. Mary Poppins, for sure. I think the weapons we have in Monster Hunter works as is. They should just need to give more moves to what we currently have. They could do that, but I think that there's options. Maybe actually, maybe not. I think there's potentially room for more things. Just depends on like how they do it. Surprised they haven't added the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII yet. They probably will with the skin for Greatsword. Why does the stream look like a reel? Because if I don't do it like this and I turn it sideways, the chat disappears. It's terrible. So, that's a question for YouTube. Why do they want me to do a stream like this in the first place? Because if I turn it, it's like this right now. If I turn it like this, the chat will fade after freaking 5 seconds. Right now, your chat stays indefinitely. I can read your chat constantly. It's awesome. And the other one, the chat gets like a weird, ugly chat box and disappears. I don't know why. Will an all-protein diet help in shredding phase or eating a bit of everything as long as it sits in a caloric deficit? You want to eat a bit of everything because micronutrients are a very impactful thing to be focused on. If you're trying to lose weight, whole foods, protein, fiber, those are 3 things you want to focus on a little bit. When it comes to fats, you want to try and get at least 50 grams if you're a dude, 60 if you're a chick, and then the rest can just be carbs. To figure out what your caloric maintenance is, roughly, go to tdeecalculator.net and input your stats, your height, your weight, your sex, and then give it like an estimate of how active you are. From there, get a weight scale for yourself, a weight scale for your food, download Chronometer, it's free, or MyFitnessPal, whatever, and just be tracking your food a little bit. But be realistic with yourself. Like you don't need to track every little thing, but if you did and had an idea of what things are in terms of caloric density, in terms of your caloric intake, that would help immensely trying to lose weight. Because at a certain, it all comes down to just the science and the thermodynamics of it all, which is you have to be in a deficit to lose weight. That's how it goes. And you can't know your deficit if you don't know how much you're eating per day. If he goes to landscape mode, he becomes 4:8. Oh, it would absolutely destroy the whole view. If I had a camera that was wide lensed, it'd be goated. But I don't. All right, we're approaching the hour 40 mark. The goal is to stream a game tonight. So I'm probably gonna end the stream here in a moment. Actually finish my food. Doing this actually helps me eat slower, which is good for the current deficit I'm in. Pocket-sized down mode. It would cut me in half. Anywho, y'all, appreciate you for being here. Thanks for joining the mukbang. It's a little weird watching a gaming content creator eat food, I guess. But I'm not trying to make it awkward. I'm trying to just we chit chat, all right. But thank you for being here as always. It means a ton. You have a good day or night. I'll be on tonight playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Probably do some Helldivers clickbait, get folks in the stream, and then play Monster Hunter Wilds. You know the deal. But yeah, that's the plan. See y'all some other time. Peace. Are you sure? Yes.